So, here we are, the return of the RPG Maker reviews. And with a first for the series, while I've covered 2 seasons worth of games with RPG Maker on PS4, this season we kick off with the PC version of RPG Maker with the Five Nights at Fuckboy's complete collection.
So, you're doing this game collection alone? With no help?
Hello? The fuck are you doing here? More importantly, who are you?
Don't get snippy with me, Buster. I'm a fellow drink aficionado, here to aid you with this game collection.
Yeah, you know, a name would be nice to work with here, Kumquat. I can't just call you nothing the whole time.
Latte will suffice. Now, you're gonna need help with this one. Allow me to lend you assistance.
Fine, whatever. Just don't get in my way. This season, I'm tweaking the format again, and I'm going to be bringing back the playthrough summary from Season 1 before giving the individual section rankings. It's still the same 5 categories, so don't worry about that, but, you know, it'll all make sense as we go through.
And like Demon King Defiance, we'll cover each game separately, but any scenarios the game has will be included with their base game.
There's no we here, Latte. You're just kind of a hanger-on for the time being. Anyway, let's just get the ball rolling with Five Nights at Fuckboys 1 comes with 2 additional scenarios, the Balloon Boys scenario and Vial scenario. Now, Latte will explain the differences between base game and the additional scenarios, for the sake of those that don't religiously follow this fan game thing.
The base game has 4 recruitable party members in Freddy, Bonnie, Chica and Foxy, with a final boss of Golden Freddy. The Balloon Boy scenario has 5 recruitable party members, with Balloon Boy, the Puppet, Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie and Toy Chica with Mangle as the final boss. The Vial scenario has only 1 party member, Vial, and a final boss of, well, bad memories.
So starting with the base game of Five Nights at Fuckboys 1, I picked back up from pretty much where I'd left off from the recording I did with the Experience. But I don't exactly have a lot of footage of this, as my OBS locked up on me and crashed 20 minutes into recording for the base game. Turns out OBS doesn't like me recording the game window. Who knew? There's really not much to talk about here though. It's pretty simple. You run around the pizzeria with your 4 animatronics, beat the shit out of cameras, and win, really. But there's 2 crucial things that cross over in the sequel that I need to mention. Upon defeating enough enemies, the puppet will spawn and start a timer countdown. In the original final mix of these games released on VXAs, this could be reset. You'd talk to the puppet and the timer would reset. In the remake, that's not a thing. You have a countdown for when the fight will begin and you have to prepare as best you can. When you talk to the puppet, as an alternative, a fight will begin against it. Beat it to unlock a Super Boss-esque second puppet, which is ball-crushingly difficult on higher difficulties. Bonus fights also start to spawn at certain thresholds. In Five Nights at Fuckboys 1, it's the toys, which give you the ultimate weapons for Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. Now, as for why I didn't mention Freddy, well, Latte.
The Dragon Dildo is a weapon obtained in Five Nights at Fuckboys 1. It is obtained in this game by punching the door to the kitchen 100 times. It is Freddy's best weapon in a casual playthrough of the first game.
Yeah, thanks, Latte. The existence of this weapon trivializes the first game. It makes it a fun adventure and not the ball ache the other games get. Once you beat Golden Freddy, you win, and get a star depending on the difficulty you played. I only got 1 star because I didn't play Night XX, and Night XXX is, I think, impossible. The Balloon Boy scenario really has nothing to mention. It's the base game, but all characters are tougher, meaning the early game is easier and the late game is harder. When you beat the final boss of Mangle, the game goes in a permanent loop of Balloon Boy celebrating victory. You have to quit out here. But when you do, you get the star, so don't worry about that. But the Vial scenario? That's an interesting beast. Latte, give me a rundown on Vial.
Originating from the video game Mega Man X, Vial is not fully voiced, but instead he only has sound bites play over his written dialogue. Like BB.
Thanks, Latte. Mega Man will make another appearance in this series for some fun reason, and for better or worse. But his appearance here is the biggest tie of story we have so far. Vile has time-travelled here from either the past or the future, it's not exactly clear which, to find his father, but only finding bad memories of him being cucked. Brilliant. We will loop back around to Fuckboys 1 when we get to ranking, but for now we're on to Fuckboys 2. Fuckboys 2 gave me a lot of stick, because I decided to play on Proud Mode. I'll let Latte do the explanations of Proud Mode and why it was a terrible idea for me to do in this recording. Latte!
Proud Mode is a harder difficulty for all three base games. In the first game, however, it is called Night XX. Proud Mode aims to quash several cheesy strategies and force you into more tactical battle plans. You can no longer spam healing items, all enemies hit harder and can take more damage, and you are expected to grind. This mode does have additional content, however.
And so I went into Proud Mode expecting the difficulty to be closer to Fuckboys 1's breezy difficulty. It was not. I had to reset the game from the start 3 separate times to get past Toy Chica's acquirement, and I will explain the rough of it with one simple fight. Splash Woman. Told you Mega Man X would be back. Splash Woman is a huge difficulty check that body checks you at every step. So, she can crush unprepared folks with a little stress. And I had to retry multiple times because I tried to be an idiot and snipe the rare item here.
The Cerberus dildo is obtained by hitting the small sweet spot during the salmon location minigame. This has to be done on the first visit. It's considered one of Toy Freddy's better weapons, but not his best.
So after, and I kid you not, 2 hours of getting my dick squashed across multiple runs, I formulated a plan. Rush Toy Bonnie's recruitment, getting the stick for beating him out of the vent as soon as I could. Him being there is so useful because of his grab bag ability. Grind to level 12, cleaning out enough cameras along the way to unlock the party hat needed to get Freddy's weapon and armor upgraded, then go kick Splash Woman's ass. But, when I accomplished this, the game crashed. Okay, no worries. Games do that. So I did the fight again. And it crashed again. So I went to the internet, where I discovered something truly shocking. This game's stability is a little funky. And while the majority of the time it's a manageable stability funky, for some weird reason, this exact spot is the spot where the game can crash if you are not connected to Game Jolt to earn achievements. You see, there are several major issues that occur when RPG Maker recreation for MV is not connected to Game Jolt to receive its achievements. Namely, the big important hits are that for some strange reason there are several spots where the game will call for an achievement where if not connected, the game will spontaneously freak out and shut down. However, this is not consistent across save files, and different trophies will cause crashes on different save files. It is theorized by myself and several other members of the community that it is an issue with the call used to determine these achievements on Game Jolt that is causing the crashes. For now though, the only known solution to the problems, short of opening the game files and removing anything related to Game Jolt achievements, is to simply pay ball and connect to the game's Game Jolt servers. But yeah, after making a Game Jolt account, connecting it to the game, and doing the Splash Woman fight for a 3rd time, it worked fine. Cool, whatever, thanks. After rounding up Mangle by getting her a sex toy, don't ask, its second verse same as the first, clean out the cameras and the puppet, but this time the second puppet is required for completion. And you're on a 2-hour timer before he comes to give you the tickle fingers. Let's get working. At some point these cassette tapes start dropping around the map, and if you collect all of them you get into a fight against, I don't remember this part of Freddy's lore. Thrashing Snoop Dogg gives Toy Freddy a fat stat boost, which is neat. This is actually about as far as I got in my recording, so let's get into actually ranking the damn games. Both games have stories that are, how do you say, a bit fucking empty. The Vile scenario and the fight against Snoop Doggy Dogg are nice world building, but in-game there's really not much beyond go destroy the cameras. This will change in the future, especially for Fuckboys 2, but for now, Fuckboys 1 gets a 3 for its story, and Fuckboys 2 gets a 3 as well. The combat is the high mark of the game's experience. No matter if you're on normal or proud mode, the combat is fun and flexible. Every character has their own unique trait, from Foxy's high speed, to Chica's health regeneration, to Vile's dick too big, to the puppet's, okay then. The scan ability is also really great, with a lot of really funny gags hidden around in it. Take a look if you can. But I honestly prefer the second game's enemy variety and boss fights over the first, which is an entirely personal choice, to be completely fair. So I'll give combat a 3 for Fuckboys 1 and a 4 for Fuckboys 2. Both games have crude humour all across their characters, but I'll give the edge to Fuckboys 1 over Fuckboys 2 simply because Vile exists and he's a really funny character. My personal top 5 characters I've had in my party thus far are as follows. Fuckboys 1 gets 4 for its characters, and Fuckboys 2 gets a 3. Both games get a 3 for their exploration. They're incredibly faithful recreations of their respective games' pizzerias, and the tile sets look really good playing into RPG Maker's strengths, but there's really nothing special to look around and find, and not really much in the way of hidden items or secrets, which I can't really hold against them too harshly. Controversial take here, but I'm giving both games a 5 for enjoyment. I love both these games for very different reasons. Fuckboys 1 is sharp and simple, finding its footing, and Fuckboys 2 is so bodaciously off the wall at every turn that I can't help but laugh. And while I can't use any of this game's soundtrack in this video, or else Capcom and Nintendo will crucify me on a cross, seriously, I hope that Snoop Dogg thing doesn't get me copy claimed, give it a listen if you can. It is a really, really good soundtrack with a lot of fun tunes in its collections. So that's that. The first game on PC has been looked over. Now, for this season's rankings, I'm only going to show games that I have covered in the season, because to be completely fair, this season is more games than the prior two combined. I'm also working through a couple of hardware issues with the Nintendo Switch I have to actually record my gameplay on, so I may have to scratch off the 2 games from the Switch this season until that issue is fixed. The next game I'll be looking at this season is the triumphant return of PKA. This is, the 3rd season it's being looked at, so illustrious club. And I'm sorry if Latte was a bit jarring for people. My stutter and inability to get words out was really, really bad during chunks of recording this. So Latte is more so there to pronounce some of the more painful words in a way that doesn't butcher decent English. He'll only be around when my speech is getting really bad, so hopefully that won't be too often. Stick around, there'll probably be a Dead by Daylight video coming out not long after this one. Give it 2-3 days. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. I hope you enjoy your day, night, weekend, whatever it is for you. And I will see you later.